bringing you the news and information you need from the people making a difference. This is Comcast Newsmakers.
Governor proposed the budget. Tax increases are in store. Hello again, and thank you for joining us. I'm Carla Shoal-Lee, and you're watching Comcast Newsmakers. Delaware State Representative Gregory Lavelle is our guest today, and today we're talking about proposed tax increases. Thanks so much for joining us today, Representative.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
You too.
You know, when you talk about increases, I guess there are good increases and there are bad increases. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, when your taxes go up, that's a bad increase for
yes, you. Okay, all righty. So how is the budget looking when you talk about the government proposed it in the, I guess, at the end of January?
At the end of January, yeah. In Delaware, the governor proposes the budget at the end of January to take it into a hearing process to allow the public to weigh in on it, and departments and other people to perhaps make changes.
Right.
But what I wanted to talk about is in Governor Minner's proposed budget, so the public becomes more aware that there's a number of tax increases that are built into and part of her budget. Mm-hmm. There's tax increases for gasoline taxes at $0.05 a gallon. There's toll increases for Route 1 and the elimination of discount for tolls on Route 1 that currently exist. And there's also cigarette tax increases. I think it's 45 cents a pack. Mm-hmm. And so these things are on the table right now. And so I'm here to make sure the public's aware of them, to give them the opportunity to talk to us about what's important to them, and also question, because I have to question whether or not they're appropriate at this time.
Well, you know, and I guess the public can look at these proposed tax increases and feel as though they're either good or they're bad. So it's kind of a personal choice.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about gasoline tax increases?
Well, I think with the price of gasoline as erratic as it has been, that it's probably not something that's going to be embraced by the public. I mean, you know, we're at $2.25, $2.30 a gallon now. At $3 a gallon, you know, another nickel's adds up to more money on top of everything else. So I think my sense is that there'll be a reluctance on the public to accept a nickel of gasoline tax increase. Mm-hmm. Now, we do have funding issues associated with our roads in Delaware. The governor, through a task force she had set up last year, indicated that there was a $2.7 billion deficit in our capital transportation projects. That number's been revised magically and thankfully down to about $1.5 billion, but it still is a funding issue. And there may be other ways to deal with that funding issue. Car registration fees, for instance, in Delaware haven't been increased since 1964. Right now they're $20 a year. Inflation adjusted, it would be about $115 a year at this point. Not suggesting we need to go up to $115, but I think there's some other ways to do this that won't hit your pocketbook week after week after week as a gasoline tax would.
Right, and when you look at something like cigarette tax increases, people will say, well, that's a good thing because people don't need to be smoking anyway. But I don't know.
That's right, and that, you know, hopefully that's one of the thoughts. If you increase it enough, will that dissuade people? Will it stop particularly younger people from starting smoking if it becomes unaffordable for them? I guess that's a debate that's going to continue. The 45 cent, I believe it's 45 cent increase per pack has been built into the budget already. Now, you know, suddenly if that initiative that's funded out of this money doesn't come to be, are we mean and nasty people because we haven't funded this thing? I think it'd probably be better to get the tax increase passed first and then figure out what you're going to spend it on as one way. And it is being directed towards health issues, which is good. I would ask, you know, how can we be sure that next year that we're not moving the dice around, and that if you're going to do that it be very targeted. Other people may admittedly say, well, 45 cents isn't enough because it's not going to dissuade people from smoking.
Right. Okay, when you talk about tax increases also, is there a downside when you have so many increases like this?
Sure, that's a great question, yeah, and that's what we're facing in Newcastle County and Delaware. I mean, Newcastle County government property taxes went up last year. They're going to go up this year probably double digits. Our schools continue to come to the taxpayers to approve referendums, which is fine. They have to go out and make their case, but there's a state share of that as well that gets built in. Gasoline's gone up, electricity's gone up, a lot of other things have gone up. So we can't really say, well, it's only $0.05 a gallon or it's only 45 cents a pack, because this is taken in the context of a family's entire budget and whose salaries may not have gone up as much.
And the budget comes out when?
It's out now, it's for review now, and we'll consider it finally in June.
June.
Right.
Okay, and we'll see if House Bill 4 makes its
move
way.
that along too.
All right, thanks
Thank
so much
you.
for joining us today, Representative. This hour's newsmaker, Gregory Lavelle, Delaware State Representative, representing District 11. I'm Carla Shoal-Lee for Comcast Newsmakers. Thanks for watching.